Welcome back to Coffee with the Authors. I'm Wendelin Van Draanen. This is Mark Parsons. We are traditionally published authors, and we started this channel to try to help emerging writers sort through the craft of writing and the business of writing. We hope that this channel is helpful to you. In this episode, we're going to talk about kidlit, or writing for the youth market. The youth market is actually an important and large part of the publishing industry. Everything from picture book to middle grade to young adult and graphic novels. These are all things that are part of the publishing industry around youth. So it's understandable that people would want to take part in that. It's an area in publishing that feels like there's an importance to it, a substance to it. But the reasons that you write for youth should be authentic.
Okay, to kind of capitalize on that same point, Roger Sutton, who was the editor of the Horn Book for 25 years and is considered kind of an industry expert on children's literature, once said that most self-published young adult literature fails because it's an adult trying to tell kids how to live.
Yeah.
And really, if that is the reason that you want to write YA or kidlit in general, you might want to rethink your motives, because from a practical standpoint, that never works. No one, kids don't want to be told what to do. Adults don't want to be told what to do. I very vehemently never want to be told what to do.
Believe me, he doesn't want to be told what to do.
I don't want to be told what to do by anybody, even my better half here. A, it doesn't work. And B, people can smell those kind of message books a mile away. So if your motive for writing YA is you want to tell kids what to do, maybe just go find some kids in your neighborhood and go play Karen to them directly. But for God's sake, don't commit it to paper.
So Mark mentioned the Horn Book. And if you're not familiar with the Horn Book publication, become familiar if you're interested in writing for youth. Springboarding off of something Mark said, he and I did a workshop for writers, and there was a woman in our class, and she had written this story, or was in the process of writing this story, and she had a message in it. Man, did she have a message in it. Had to do with environmentalism and using this and not that, and it was very on the nose. And we tried to gently coach her away from having it be so on the nose. But her reason for writing it was getting this point across to children. She's not going to get that published. That is never going to be a book that is going to be picked up because it's so on the nose. It is okay to have a message. I like having a message in my book, but usually that's built into the theme. And that's something that is subtle. That is something that, food for thought, as opposed to here's the rule by which you must live.
It's okay to, in fact, I think it's desirable. I think it's a really good thing to write books that make people want to think. Especially if you're writing books for kids. You want to make them want to think, and you want to make them think about many different things. It is, to me, the opposite motivation to try to tell them what to think, like exactly what to think. Like, my whole point of this book is to get you to think X instead of Y. It's like, no one wants to be told that. My rule is never state your theme overtly in your book overtly. You can refer to it obliquely. Like, if your theme is about forgiveness, you don't want to write a book where one character goes, I think it's really important that we believe in forgiveness. But if you keep your theme front of mind and kind of let that guide you as you write your work, to try to expose people to different aspects of the theme and let them make their own decision about it, you're going to have a much better reception.
Yeah, and I think that as adults, our tendency is to try to impart our wisdoms to children. But really, the number one thing, in my belief, in my opinion, the number one thing, if you're writing for kids, you need to entertain them. That has to be front and foremost. You do not want to message them. You want to entertain them. And then if you have something that will broaden their thinking, broaden their outlook, broaden their, experience about, the human experience, all those things, that's great. But the number one thing is you want them to like reading. You want them to enjoy your story. And with that enjoyment comes along this food for thought.
And meet them where they are. Don't try to kind of bring them into your worldview and make them think just like you. Just meet them right where they are with all their little imperfections, and they'll be much more receptive to it that way.
So a really good exercise for you might be to think about the books that you loved when you were a kid and then revisit those, reread them. Think about what it is you loved about them. Why did you like them so much? Was it that it entertained you and made you feel a certain way? Or was there a message in it? And then just kind of take that to heart. Also, not everybody is suited to write for children. I think you have to have a little bit of an arrested development to do this. And I know that I tried writing for adults. My first several novels, I wrote in the voice of an adult. And they were good, but they kind of missed the mark a little bit. And I didn't know what was wrong. And it was what it turned out. I read Dandelion Wine, which was a book that Mark had read as a youth.
I love that
and
book.
He loved it, and I had never read it. But when I read that, it kind of clicked me into writing for youth. And it turns out that I have the voice of someone who is younger than I am. So sometimes you find your voice in different area than you expected to. For me, I found my voice in writing for a younger audience. This is where I am at home. And you may find that same thing for yourself, or you may find that it's just too much work and you just don't get it. And then maybe just don't do it.
Yeah, I think it's important to examine your motives. Why do you want to write for young adults or for middle grade or for the little guys when you write picture books? Why do you want to? And if it's because
you want a theme park.
Yeah, there you go.
That's not going to happen.
Nope. And if it's because it's like, I think I know what kids need to be doing and kids aren't doing this enough, that's not the reason either. But if it's because you kind of naturally gravitate to that, you know children, you love children, you kind of have part of your brain that's still a child. Like, think about the books you enjoyed as a child and think about, do you like to read middle grade or YA now? And if you don't, why not? And therefore, why do you want to write it? You want to examine that pretty carefully. I think the reason for all this is not to say you can or cannot write this. You can write anything you want to write. The point is, if you're not organically drawn to it, if you don't authentically enjoy YA or middle grade or chapter books or whatever it is, you're probably not going to be doing your best work in that category. And of course, you want to put your best work forward. That's why we say it's really probably a good idea to examine why you want to write in any specific category.
So we hope you found this interesting or useful or have given you some food for thought. Regardless of if you're going to write for youth or write for adults, remember, dream big, work hard, don't give up.
Keep reading and keep writing.
Looks like your bear is holding a basketball.
Shut up.
No, you shut up.